We have a capacity crowd here at U.S. Airways Arena in Landover, Maryland, as the Chicago Bulls looking to close out the Washington Bullets in this, the third game of their best-of-5 series, leading 2-0, and they're still buzzing over Michael Jordan's brilliant offensive performance, scoring 55 points in game number 2. And good evening, everyone, and welcome to Landover, Maryland. I'm Dick Stockton, along with Hubie Brown, and we have always known that Michael Jordan can take over a game in the playoffs, and he did that exactly that on Sunday at the United Center. Why is his impact, Hubie, so amazing to you?
Well, I think you have to look at it this way, Dick. The man made 22 field goals, 18 of them jump shots beyond 13 feet. Then with the pressure on, he closes out the fourth quarter by scoring 20 out of the 23 points. Now, this team is struggling shooting-wise. They're only shooting 44% in the 2 games. Big reason, Kukoc at 20, Scottie Pippen at 34. But they do the little things to win the close games. And look at it here. The offensive rebounding, 15 a game, is outstanding. They get 7 extra shots. They're only turning it over 11 times. The assists are there for the people who are saying Michael's not sharing the ball. And then the key, easy baskets on the fast break. That's doing it, Dick.
And a lineup change for the Bulls tonight, Hubie. Dennis Rodman is going to start at power forward, and George Murasan, who is questionable with a strained hip flexor, is going to start. That's an important move for the Washington Bullets, who, despite being down 2-0, really have given the Bulls a tough fight so far.
Well, you have to look at it this way, Dick. They're doing some things good. 5 players are averaging between 15 and 20 points. Then they're getting to the line 33 times. That would put you at the top of the league during a regular season. They're winning the battle of the paint by 4 points a game in the power game. Well, where's the shortcoming? Off the bench, Tracy Murray is averaging 17 points. But 4 other guys who are getting major minutes between them are averaging 1 point. They need contribution. The bench and then the rebounding must improve. But the key player tonight has got to step up, and that is Chris Webber. Look at the 32 minutes. That's not enough. Michael Jordan's averaging 43. You got to get in over 40 tonight. The points are down 6 a game. His rebounding is down. And then the bad is the 6 turnovers. And how about foul shot attempts? At 6'10", you got to get to the line, Dick. More than 3 foul shot attempts.
No question about that, Hubie. And who else but Craig Sager would catch up with Michael Jordan entering the arena?
You get a team in a position like this, usually one that likes to close them out. Is that your feeling going into this game tonight?
Yeah, that's what we want to do, but we know it's going to be hard. I mean, this team's going to be fighting with their backs to the wall, and that's going to come easy. So we have to be ready and have to follow our game plan and stick with it.
You still in the zone?
I don't know. I see my first shot.
The Home Depot starting lineups tonight. Pippen, Rodman, Longley, Jordan, and Harper. Howard, Weber, Murasan, Cheney, and Strickland for the Bullets. Right now, let's go over to Craig Sager.
Well, Dick, there was a minor confrontation in the Bulls locker room just before tip-off. Dennis Rodman did not want to wear his knee brace. Phil Jackson said, if you do not wear the brace, you do not start. Jason Caffey's name was temporarily put into the lineup. Rodman then pondered the dilemma, became subservient wisely, and he was put into the starting lineup. Phil then compromised and left the door open for the second half. But Dennis gave in to coach, and he will wear the brace to start the game. Dick?
All right, Craig, are we getting the impression that Rodman is not an easy guy to handle, Hubie?
Well, I would think that the trainer and the physical trainer and the doctors also have something to say about this.
Well, Rodman felt that as he changed braces on Sunday that he really did not have much lateral movement and mobility and wanted to go without it, but you just pointed out why he has to wear it, and that's because the medical staff feels that way. So enough said. Dennis Rodman, who had 8 rebounds, 7 in the second half, in the starting lineup, and we'll check George Murasan and his condition, and a very important factor for the Bullets. Dick Bavetta, Ken Maurer, and David Jones, the officials, were underway, and the tip is controlled by the Bulls. And Jordan loses it out of bounds. Michael Jordan out to try to get the others going offensively, although he could explode again, but you never know. The Bulls have had a problem getting offensive firepower. Calvert Cheney puts the Bullets up 2-0 and coming off a 26-point effort to lead them in game 2.
Well, he's averaging right at 19 in the series and shooting close to 50. And you like his game. He's really doing a nice job, working very hard on Michael.
Scottie Pippen has the ball knocked away by Howard. Bulls still control it. They have 8 on the shot clock. Ron Harper, Jordan being shadowed by Cheney for 3, and an air ball into the hands of Miracek.
I like that. See, they jumped out that time and did not allow Michael to turn a corner on that screen.
Rod Strickland, good call for the offensive foul. No basket. Strickland, of course, looking to penetrate a lot more. He has not been able to get into the lane so far in this series.
No, I like that. Michael did a very good job stepping out. Remember we tell you about Michael. Now he's averaging 43 minutes. You see the arm went down in there. Now we gave you this angle. If the angle was on the other side, you would see that Michael had the lane cut off going to the rim.
Tony Kukoc guarded by Weber and Pippen. Going down the lane, feeding Luke Longley, and Longley is picked up and in.
See, once again, Dennis Rodman on the offensive board. Dick, the 2 negatives that they must erase tonight, the Bullets. Stop the offensive rebounding and get back in transition.
So the basket by Dennis Rodman. Juwan Howard hits the jumper. Howard was the leading scorer for the Bullets with 21 in game number 1.
Well, you're looking for Howard and Weber to step up big for you tonight. The big problem will be, can they stay out of foul trouble?
Having Miracek in the lineup certainly helps the cause in that department. Without him, they really would have been hard-pressed. Luke Longley loses it out of bounds, so that is the second turnover by the Bulls in the first 2 minutes.
Well, it's an interesting side. You can see, Jackson, he's definitely concerned. Anytime you only average 11 turnovers a game in your first 2, you know that your guys are taking care of the ball.
Strickland penetrating and a foul, and that is what sparked the Bullets to the playoff berth. Rod Strickland, who, when Bernie Bickerstaff took over, had the ball in his hands, able to penetrate. The personal foul is against Luke Longley.
See, I like the fact that Strickland is coming out, and he's going to challenge Michael. You need him to wear Michael down, especially off the dribble. Do not give Michael a soft night. Also in this series, Rod is averaging 6 foul shot attempts per game.
Strickland shooting 38% in the first 2 games, and he was well over 50% against the Bulls in the regular season.
See, he's going to be out there with his minutes, Dick. He's wagering major minutes here, 43 a game.
2 minutes gone by, and the Bulls trailing by 4 with the ball, and a little pressure by the Bullets. Scottie Pippen going baseline against Howard, throws the ball away into the hands of Strickland. Harper is back defensively, and Strickland lays it in. Tell you one thing about this Bullet team. They're young, they're athletic, and they can take advantage of that against this team.
Well, Strickland's one of the best point guard finishers that we have in the open floor.
Strickland, one of the veterans, but this is basically a young team. And Longley loses the ball to Chris Weber. And the Bulls turning it over a lot here in the first quarter. Calbert Cheney looking for shooting room. Pippen won't give it to him, but there's Howard open. And Juwan Howard. The Bullets are red hot from the field in the first 3 minutes. They lead by a score of 10-2, and they have yet to miss. They're 4 for 4 from the field.
Well, they're doing a good job, Dick, taking advantage of the turnovers. Already Chicago has 3 turnovers. Luke Longley just cannot seem to catch the ball right now.
Pippen guarded by Howard, and Howard's done a good job against Scottie Pippen so far in the series. Jordan finds an open Luke Longley, and it's tipped by Miracek. So the presence of Miracek helps Strickland coming back. Pippen is guarding him right now. It's a 10-2 score with the Bullets coming out strong here in Game 3. Howard is perfect. 5 for 5 for the Bullets, and Howard has hit all 3 of his shots.
Now, right now, the Chicago bench, nobody's upset. They're going to weather this storm. They're not calling a timeout. They're saving themselves. I like what Howard's done. He's picked up Harper on a number of mismatches, and he's taken him right to the basket with nice moves.
Pippen trying to get on track. Misses Miracek, gets the rebound. Bulls need some offensive production besides Michael Jordan, and that has been a big problem for them despite the 2-0 lead. Strickland going baseline, trying to get it to Miracek, and it's lost by Big George, and here come the Bulls. Bulls back defensively. Strickland is on Harper with under 8 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Harper goes around the screen, and he misses, and another rebound from Miracek. That is his third. Cheney to Weber. And the Bullets are beating the Bulls down the court, and we may have our timeout sooner than we think.
Now that was an outstanding pass by Cheney. Totally unselfish. He could have forced that shot. But Murasan is doing a terrific job on the defensive glass, Dick.
And the Bulls call a timeout. 1 for 5 shooting, and the Bullets are perfect as they lead 14-2.
Here's the big fella now. Now just watch as they look up. Now this is nice. Now as they come down, Cheney could force this shot right here, but he drops it off. Unselfish play.
And now we're not in sync because we haven't been together for the last few weeks, but we're starting to build. I mean, this is a process, I guess, as Phil would say. It's baby steps for us right now, and it's time for us to, start off real slow, and hopefully we can get going.
Well, the Bills don't want to start off that slow because they want to eliminate this team as soon as possible, especially we're in a veteran club, and get some rest going into the next round.
Well, right now, Chicago 1 for 6 from the floor and then 4 turnovers. Washington 6 for 6, 4 rebounds. Big George is doing a great job getting the ball out quickly to start the break. Bernie wants Strickland to take over and really push the ball tonight and make Michael work.
Getting back to what Scottie Pippen said, as you pointed out, after Michael Jordan, you have 5 top players under 40% shooting so far in the series.
Well, it's a rust thing, and there's no doubt about it. Rodman is struggling only 33%. He's a guy that gets you 8 points, and he shoots a high percentage.
Here is Rodman, and he can't put it up, and it's tipped in by Scottie Pippen. So Pippen with his first points of the game.
Yeah, that is their second field goal on a tap, Dick. Once again, no body on key people who are inside the painted area.
Strickland controlling with 5 minutes gone by here in this first quarter. The Bullets have come out strong, dominating. Weber, who's very tough from three-point range, goes back in low to Murasan.
Oh, he got fouled.
And Longley does a good job if he was not fouled, and the rebound into the hands of Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, he got hit on that shot. Big George even had something to say in Romanian to the referee. He really got after it.
And I think he understood.
Yeah, right. Well, Dick Pavetta's been down at Jersey Shore League, so he can speak a lot of
You
languages.
come from Brooklyn, you understand all languages, that's for sure.
That's right.
4 on the shot clock. Jordan is yet to take a shot.
Take.
And here is his first of the game, and he picks up where he left off. Michael Jordan, who, as you mentioned, 22 out of 35 from the field, brings the Bulls to within 8. Strickland gets free for the shot and hit.
What they're doing there is they're running Georgie Murasan over for that high screen, and then Strickland is going baseline because Michael is cheating defensively.
Harper puts the fake on Strickland inside the arc, and this is Juwan Howard loses the fight to Dennis Rodman.
Third offensive rebound.
And the offensive rebounding has been big for the Bulls in the first 2 games. Here is Harper with plenty of time on the shot clock, and he hits a 3. Ron Harper, who scored 10 points in Sunday's game, is on the board.
Harper's now 4 for 8 in this series on threes. He's doing a nice job right at 9 points.
Jordan guarding Strickland. Murasan trying to set a screen for him, and Strickland in the lane double team, leaving Weber open. Weber has been the top 3-point shooter for the Bullets so far in the series, and a loose ball foul called against Juwan Howard. That is his first personal foul, and Howard and Weber have to really watch getting into foul trouble tonight.
Major key.
16-9, the Bullets in front, led by as much as 12. We have 5:10 remaining in the first quarter.
If you're Chicago, you expect this energy flow. You expect the crowd to be in it. You expect them to get off to a decent start, so you're not panicking. You've been in this situation many times.
And Calbert Cheney reaching in, called for the personal foul. And of course, we saw Monday night what happened when the Charlotte Hornets got off to a big start, and the Knicks held fast and eventually won.
Now, you see, Calbert, he definitely got Michael. He got him on the arm, and he also had him on the hip that time. Now, Cheney is trying to take away the passing lanes anytime Michael's out on the wing. That time he gambled because he thought it was a soft bounce pass.
5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Jordan guarded by Chaney. Chaney has done a good job despite the explosion, and Jordan gets the layup. And you may say, boy, he really scorched Calvert Chaney, but Jordan was well covered, double and triple teamed, and he can beat any kind of defense.
Now, Bernie Bickerstaff is calling a timeout right now. He doesn't like his rotations, no doubt about it. That time they had him doubled, and even Giorgio came over from the opposite side. 3 guys. Michael scores.
Hey, Max.
Back here at Landover, Maryland, the Bullets lead by 5, although the Bulls on a 9-2 run since they called their timeout. For less than 3 minutes, they have cut the lead to 5, despite the fact that the Bullets are shooting 78%. They got off to a hot start, hitting their first 6. And Weber loses the ball to Pippen, who makes the save. And here come the Bulls. So the Bulls, despite the early start by the Bullets, coming back very calmly, as you pointed out. And Rodman is fouled and will go to the line.
The Bullets are trapping the pass to the wing. When you do that, you're very vulnerable on the second pass out of that trap, and the Bullets have done this now twice. Both times, Chicago has been able to get the ball under the basket with a pass.
Calvert Chaney committing the personal foul, and Rodman misses the free throw. And there is the Jaren Jackson coming into the game, and of course he is in for defensive purposes. Chaney is out, and with Chaney with 2 fouls, Bernie Bickerstaff cannot afford Chaney picking up his 3rd, and Randy Brown checks in for the Bulls, and he too is known for his defense. Ron Harper sitting down.
Well, what they're doing now is they're giving Michael a rest, so he'll put up for Jared Jackson, and they'll put Brown, a hard-nosed defender, on Strickland.
1 out of 2 for Rodman. The Bullet lead is down to 4. They were up by 12 in the early going. Rodman is guarding Juwan Howard, and Howard working his way into the basket. Howard has been perfect from the field, 4 for 4, and the Bullets lead 18-12.
Now, that was an excellent move, and I like what they're doing. They're going right at Dennis to see what he's going to get away with.
Wrongly playing the familiar high post, the triangle offense of Tex Winter. Michael Jordan off the screen hits the basket. Jordan apologized to Tex Winter for going away from the triangle and just taking over the game.
Well, anyone who has seen him play through the years knows that he does that all the time. So I don't know why that was a revelation.
And the Bulls are grateful that he does. 18-14. Pippen misses from downtown, and he missed badly. Here's Scottie getting the pass back from Jordan, and Randy Brown shooting. Not normally a guy you want shooting, and Rodman going easy. And they have to separate the two. Rodman got Murasan in the back, and Murasan fought back.
Well, the big thing with Rodman is before the series began, he says what you have to do with Murasan is to smack him around early in the game. And in game 1, he went up and he banged him chest to chest a number of times. And you can see that's what he's doing now. Because Murasan is a major threat in this game.
At 7'7", he definitely is a major threat. Rodman has picked up 3 technical fouls already in this series.
Now just keep an eye on this. Now Georgie's on the inside. Now watch, he's got the ball. Now watch, see, there's a cheap shot. That should be automatic. That's right, Georgie. I give it to you. He can't let this guy give him a cheap shot, hit him in the back of the shoulder.
They're going to call a foul on Rodman, but a technical on both Rodman and Murasan. So Rodman, as we said, that's the 4th technical foul that he has received, and he was thrown out of the game, ejected in game 1, receiving 2 technical fouls. So already Rodman, starting tonight, has received a technical and an offensive foul called against Jaren Jackson. Gives the ball over to the Bulls, who trailed by only 4.
Main thing right now for Washington to understand that this game is going to be very physical. The Bulls want to knock you out right now so they get the necessary rest to prepare themselves for the next round.
They know that Atlanta-Detroit heading for at least a game 4 Friday night in Detroit. And we'll have another foul.
Bernie Bickerstaff is all over this game, and he wants his guys to stand up and hold their areas. Now they're taking Murasan out. They're going small. They're bringing in Tracy Murray, and that will move Weber to the center position, Juwan Howard to the power forward, Tracy Murray off the bench, averaging 17 points a game.
That was an illegal defense, not a foul called against the Bullets. And Jaren Jackson all over Michael Jordan, and another foul.
Now you can see Murasan, he's in a lot of pain. He has a very badly hip flexor, and let's hope that he can play. Bernie was concerned about the amount of pain offensively.
Tony Kukoc in the game. He's looking to get on track. Kukoc only 6 points in 18 minutes, and Kukoc with a tip-in gets the basket. Tony Kukoc, who looked out of the United Center, said he was a little bit of pain from the sore foot. He was out 22 of the last 26 regular season games, and admittedly rusty. And the Bullets turn it over as a pass thrown off a foot. So now the Bulls looking to at least tie it up, trailing 18 to 16. 2:19 to go in the first. Jackson all over Jordan. Jackson scorched to Jordan. And there's Michael Jordan with 3 seconds to go off the glass. Tipped up by Rodman. Rodman gets the basket.
Now, let me make a major issue here right now. The Bulls have 18 points. They have 4 baskets on taps. Now you take away that, you'd have an 8-point lead right now. Instead, you're tied. Now they can talk all they want. They've got to start paying attention to people on the offensive board. Now just watch this. This red shirt is inside, up and in. Come on, you've got to put a body on Rodman, a body on Pippen, a body on Longley.
The Bulls have 6 offensive rebounds, and the Bullets have none so far, and those 6 second shot opportunities have been the difference in this game, although the Bullets and Bulls are now tied 18-18, and fortunately for Washington, their 6 for 6 start from the field has kept them in the game.
Dick, the reason why this is such an issue, coming in games 1 and 2, Chicago's only shooting 44%, but they're killing you with 15 offensive boards a game. And here we're not even out of the first quarter, and they're dominating you, getting up inside with 7, and they put 4 back in. Come on, that has got to be your number 1 defensive goal.
Bulls on a 16-4 run to tie the game after trailing by 12. Tracy Murray will inbound. And Rod Strickland bringing it up. And Randy Brown shadowing him. Jordan is guarding Jared Jackson, who's really not an offensive threat, so Jordan can freelance a little bit. And a foul called on Randy Brown. That is his first. 1:47 remaining in the first quarter, and Scottie Pippen knocks it out of bounds.
Right now, there's a battle going on between Pippen and Weber. Scottie being voted to the first-team all-defensive team for the fourth straight year is all over Weber. Now, they've been trying to post up Weber here 5 out of the last 7 times down the floor, and Pippen has not allowed him to catch a pass in there.
Strickland can't penetrate. Now he goes in, reverses his way, and gets the basket, beating Randy Brown.
Now, if I'm Chicago, I'm hot. I'm hot right now because Strickland used his forearm to clear the defender away. Now, just keep an eye on this on this rotation. As he comes down in here, it's a great move because Rod loves to finish. There it is right there. Took Pippen's arm away. Pippen went right to the referee.
Strickland now with 9 points, off to a good start. 21-18 the score. Strickland scored 16 points in Sunday's game and 19, and very nearly had a triple-double in game 1. The Bullets by 3, 1:25 to go. Michael Jordan going down the lane, and he lays it in. Jordan now with 8 points in the first quarter.
See, people say, why don't you jam Jordan? Well, you can see what's happening. Ever since Jared Jackson, then he's jamming, and what happens is he just beats you off the dribble.
Here's Tracy Murray, who had a hot offensive game. Sunday, Murray put on a show with 16 of his 22 points in the first half. Scottie Pippen coming back, and Weber blocks it out of bounds. It'll be Bulls possession, and they have 18 seconds on the clock. And talk about Jared Jackson in just 3 minutes guarding Michael Jordan in game 2. He picked up 4 personal fouls, so he was no match for Michael.
Well, how many other guys are on that strike? No one guy
fouls though in 3 minutes.
Yeah, but no one guy can play him. He's the bench guy. Bernie Bickerstaff is telling him, go in there and rough Michael up, play him tough. We're not worrying about whether you foul out of the game.
Juwan Howard goes out of the game, and Harvey Grant, who would have started had Murasan not been able to go, and Michael Jordan going to the bench.
3 in a row.
Tony Kukoc Then they screen and roll, and Dennis Rodman. Rodman now with 7 points. An unusual offensive force for the Bulls in this first quarter. Bullets lead by 1 with 40-plus seconds remaining. Tim Legler checking in for the Bullets. He hasn't been able to get that 3-point shot going. He has struggled offensively. Rod Strickland. Grant along with Weber, Legler, and Murray. Rodman is guarding Chris Weber.
That was a flop.
And 1 on the shot clock, Murray, and the 24-second clock expired. That would not have counted had it gone.
I'd like to say something about Dennis Rodman. This guy can score, throughout his career. His career average is 8 points a game, and he shoots 54% because he only takes shots that he can make, basically layups, getting on the offensive board. So they have got to pay attention on that screen and roll because they are not trapping Kukoc. They were lazy getting back to Rodman.
Rodman averaged nearly 6 points a game in the regular season. He has been a designated rebounder, particularly the offensive rebounder for the Bulls. So playing for the last shot are the Bulls. They have yet to lead in this game, trailing by 1. Steve Kerr, who burned the Bullets in game 1 with 3 from downtown. 8 seconds plus. Kukoc guarded by Murray. Kukoc slices through, and the baseline jumper is missed by Randy Brown. Chris Weber cannot get it off, and that'll do it. So the Bullets, who had a 12-point lead, cut to 1 after 1 period, and Juwan Howard, perfect shooting from the field, 8 points. And after 1 quarter of play here at US Airways Arena, the Bullets lead the Bulls by a score of 23-22.
Kukoc has the ball right here. Now you see Randy Brown goes through. Here comes Dennis Rodman for a screen. As Kukoc goes over the top, you're going to see Weber play this soft. But what's going to happen? Rodman is going to roll, and they are going to be late on the rotation. Keep an eye on it now. See, they're playing it soft. They're following it soft. That's no good because that rotator has got to be there. Legler was nowhere on that rotation.
Right now, let's check in with Craig.
Well, Dick, George Mearson's injury, the hip flexor, is actually a muscle on the right side. When he comes out of the game, the treatment is heat and stretching. The fact that he's laying down doesn't mean that he's further injured the hip. What it means is at 7'7", he can't sit in those chairs, and his legs, if he does try, are so rolled up it pinches the hip. But he will be going back in the game, Dick.
All right, Craig, thank you very much. Murasan limited to only 13 minutes Sunday and scored only 1 point. There you see the shooting. Remember that Washington was 6 for 6. They're at 77% and the Bulls at 44.
Major issue with Murasan is the hook shot. And then the jump shot that he puts up over his head. And he keeps it up there. He cannot stretch. That's why we say it's going to affect his shooting.
Strickland and Legler start the second quarter with Grant, Weber, and Tracy Murray, who banks it in. Tracy Murray banks the shot off with a deflection to him, and the Bullets up by 3.
Well, you like to see this. He's come off the bench now. He's 2 for 2. Strickland 3 for 4 and a quarter. Juwan Howard 4 for 4.
Kerr and a big team out there for the Bulls right now. They've got Brian Williams, Jason Pappy, Pippen, and Kukoc. So this is a big team that Phil Jackson has. Brian Williams, who had a very impressive game 1, misses with the shot, tries to save it, and the Bullets bring it up leading by 3. One pure guard out there, and that is Steve Kerr for the Chicago Bulls.
A lot of people will say you still have Pippen and Kukoc out there. A couple of guys you can dribble.
Weber for 3, short with it, and a rebound by Cappy.
See, Chris Weber is 1 for 3. You'd like to see him get inside and establish something in that low post area to take advantage of his quickness.
Here's Kerr, and Kerr, who is 3 for 3 from downtown in game 1, continues his sizzling efforts against the Bullets. That is the second 3-point basket for Chicago. And the Bullets and Bulls are tied at 25. Rod Strickland comes back and breaks the tie with a 3 of his own.
Now, the reason why that is big, Strickland is not known for taking threes, and that is his second 3-point attempt in the series.
Weber has really been the top 3-point shooter for this team. Kukoc guarded by Legler, and a loop inside to Pippen. Double team to Scottie. Finds Kerr. He's open for 3. And this time he misses at the shot clock buzzer. Rebound by Harvey Grant. And Strickland throws the ball, tipped away by Pippen. And a foul by Strickland. And Rod Strickland called for the personal foul, and we're going to have a timeout early here in the second quarter with the Bullets leading by 3. Thank you very much. Michael Jordan coming back in the game. He scored 8 points on 4 for 7 shooting in the first quarter. So Jordan comes back with Kerr in the backcourt with Williams, Caffey, and Kukoc.
At the end of the quarter, Dick, Chicago shooting 44%, Washington 77. Well, what's the problem? 7 turnovers for Washington and 6 offensive rebounds for Chicago. That's why it's still close.
Well, the Bullets have averaged a turnover a minute lately, but they have that 3-point lead as the Bulls will inbound. And a timeout called by Jason Caffey as he couldn't get the ball inbound. That'll be a 20-second timeout called by the Bulls.
The Bullets, since Bernie Bickerstaff has taken over, will come down the floor. They will come down and deny. They will give you half-court traps, three-quarter court traps in foul shot situations. And then also in a normal half-court set, any pass to the wing, they will trap, double-team the wingman, and hope that you cannot find the free man.
I want to remind you, coming up next right here on TNT, Game 3 of the series between the Lakers and the Trailblazers as they move to Portland, as the Lakers, leading 2-0, will try to close out Portland. A tough thing to do in Portland.
Now, right now, they're not playing the man out of bounds. 2 guys on the guy, they think. Nice. Wait, come to the ball. Do not run away from the pass.
George Murison, who did not score but had 4 rebounds, back in action, and Craig Sager explained his hip problems on the side, but Murison back in there, and he's guarding Brian Williams. And a foul is called. Chris Whitney, the backup point guard, who doesn't figure to play much tonight. It'll be Strickland's game with 40-plus minutes. Whitney committing the foul for the Bullets.
Now, when Chicago runs that guard around, you cannot put your hands on the cutter, and that's what happened that time. Whitney pushed Kerr off.
Here is Kukoc, and Kukoc hits from downtown. Tony Kukoc, admittedly rusty. He's had that strained arch, but he is definitely a weapon. Has 5 points now for the Bulls, who have tied it at 28. And Juwan Howard misses his first shot after connecting on his first 4 of the game. Kerr controlling, guarded by Whitney, and there is Steve Kerr finding an open spot on the floor. And Kerr, how valuable is he? Now with 5 points and the first lead of the game for the Bulls.
In basketball terminology, they are following the guy coming over the top of that screen and roll. And if you play that soft, you're opening up an easy shot. Good block.
Has his shot blocked by Brian Williams, and it was a good block. Brian Williams at 6'11". And now they say that he got his hand, so a foul on Williams. I guess if you're going up against a 7'7" guy, you're going to get something of his body.
Well, you see, Big George will take his time. He gave a little ball fake, got up there. You can see he caught him right on the palm.
Murison making good on the first free throw. He was hit 5 out of 6 from the line so far in this series. Not a good free throw shooter in the regular season, shooting 62%.
Now, during the course of the year, in 25 minutes a game, Big George, 11 points, 7 rebounds, led the league in field goal percentage at 60%.
Murison hit both. He has been an outstanding free throw shooter in this series. Rod Strickland back in the game, defending along with Cheney, with Howard, Murison, and Tracy Murray in the front court. Here is Kukoc getting the ball back from Kerr, and a foul is called against Rod Strickland, and that is going to be 3 on Strickland.
So he's telling Bernie right now he wants to stay in the game, but Bernie is, you can see pain on his face. This is a major decision for Bernie right now. Now he's going to try. He's going to leave him in the game. Now this is a major gamble.
3 fouls on Rod Strickland, and that is critical.
Well, you got to go right at Strickland. In some way you got to go. But see, you have Steve Kerr in there right now.
Here's Kukoc working against Murray with 10 on the shot clock. Tony Kukoc going baseline, leaves it for Williams. Williams got control of it, and a fine play. Brian Williams did not get an ideal pass, but maintained control and gets his first basket of the game.
Well, this guy can score. A year ago with the Clippers, he averaged, 16 points a game and 8 rebounds. So he's accustomed to scoring.
Juwan Howard working against Caffey. Strickland against Kerr. And Kerr might have hurt himself defending. Rod Strickland gets the basket, and Kerr looked like he turned his ankle.
And you know what's interesting about that? Strickland got away with push-off with that left hand as he was dribbling.
So Bernie Bickerstaff going with Rod Strickland's desire to stay in there, saying, I will not pick up my fourth. If he does, that'll be major against the Bullets. And a foul is called as Murray trying to run the lane, and a personal against Murray.
It's just a beautiful look and a distribution, and then a terrific finish. Now you can see right there, Strickland used his hand on Kerr as he was dribbling. Kerr goes down. The ankle gave way on him, but you can see there isn't anything wrong because he's not limping.
Murray goes out, and Chris Webber has come back in the game. Good pass from Jordan to Brian Williams. And the rebound by Murasov. 32-all to score here with 7:25 remaining in the second quarter. This is game 3 of the best-of-5 series, with the Bulls leading 2-0, and the Bullets turn it over.
Bernie was trying for an assist there. That pass came right to Bernie. Bernie tapped it to his player. Not bad. In the early going, dude, any drive by Chicago on the baseline, they are finding the pivot man in the triangle in the lane with a bounce pass.
Bullets with 22 turnovers in game 1 already have turned it over twice as much as the Bulls, who are looking to take the lead again. They led by 2 one time. Kukoc to Kerr. Kerr fade away and hits over Rod Strickland. Steve Kerr trying to take advantage of Strickland. 7 points, all here in the second quarter on 3 of 4 on the field. Remember, Strickland playing with 3 personal fouls. Coming off the screen is Calbert Chaney, and he's fouled by Ryan Williams.
Anytime that Chicago runs that double, they've been wide open. And this is a nice move. Look at this. Kerr gave Strickland 3 moves until he got what he wanted.
Washington, the Vice President of the United States, Albert Gore, and wife Tipper, and in the middle, Albert Jr. on hand to watch this first playoff game in a long while here at the U.S. Airways Arena, and Commissioner David Stern, who will be our guest at halftime. We will have a chance to ask David Stern some questions at halftime. He has been a well-traveled commissioner, going to a lot of sites in the last couple of days.
Well, what I really like about it is he was in with the Los Angeles Clippers, their first time in the playoffs in quite a while. Made it to Minnesota for their first appearance in the playoffs, and that's great. It's good to see that the commissioner realizes how important it is to those franchises. Let's talk about Chicago a second. They were down 12 after 4 minutes, 4 turnovers. Since that period of time, no turnovers in the last 13 minutes, and now they have the lead.
Albert Chaney misses the free throw. Bernie Bickerstaff, who was the last coach to bring a team back from a 2-0 deficit in a best-of-5 series, and that was in '94 with the Denver Nuggets. Only 5 teams in NBA history have come back in a best-of-5 series after trailing 2-0. And never has a number 8 seed beaten the number 1 in the Eastern Conference. So Chaney misses both free throws, and the Bulls lead by 2, and they have the ball. Dennis Rodman back in the game. Rodman has scored 7 points in the first quarter, and Michael Jordan with a couple of fakes and scores over Calbert Chaney. And as Chaney said the other day, he says a lot of players have one signature move, but he gives you something, you think he'll come back, and he's got 4.
Well, it's 6'6". Anytime that he elevates and then fades back on you, there's nothing you can do about it.
Here's Juwan Howard, and with a double, leaves it for Whitney, and Chris Whitney hits from downtown. So Rod Strickland sat down, played some after picking up his 3rd foul, and Whitney comes in with 3 big points. As you pointed out, the Bullets bench has not produced much other than Murray.
Yeah, it'd be nice so that if Whitney could hit a couple, it keeps them honest, keep the defense honest. Here's a high split.
And Jordan for 3, and the long rebound tapped by Webber to Pippen, and Pippen finds Dennis Rodman, who lays it in. So Dennis Rodman now with 9 points, second to Michael Jordan's 10, and usual place for the Bulls to find offense, even though you pointed out he used to score some points, but not in the last couple of years.
Now listen, 1 year with Detroit, he averaged 12 points a game.
That's when his hair was black. Here is Howard with a turnaround. And Juwan Howard, who is hot early from the field, now missing a couple.
What I like, Chicago's working now. They're working that defensive board, no second shot attempts, and at their end, 5 second chance baskets.
Bulls leading by 3, 5 minutes and 10 seconds to go. And an offensive foul as Whitney is knocked down by Luke Longley. And Longley picking up his second personal foul.
Well, if you notice, the bench didn't say a word. He definitely takes a step. Now, keep an eye. Here's the screen, and then he moves. See, unfortunately for Luke, he did not have to do that because Kerr had a nice angle.
Chris Whitney in his 4th year from Clemson. And Murasan is fouled inside. He was double teamed, and let's see if Longley gets hit with another one. And it is on the Luke, so 3 on Luke Longley. So he is the first member of the Bulls to get into foul trouble. So far, no move from the Chicago bench.
Oh, they have a number of people that they can play at that position. You can always play Rodman there, or Williams, or
Weber with a turnaround in the lane. Weber only his second basket. And as you mentioned in the beginning, he's a guy that the Bullets need to emerge offensively if they're to survive.
And also he's got to step up on the boards. He's got to start doing a better job and helping out. And he and Howard have got the rebound.
Kerr with a baseline shot, and there's Rodman with another offensive rebound. And that's his 5th.
Don't get a foul here.
And the ball goes out of bounds, and it is going to be Washington's ball. So after committing an early flurry of turnovers and then protecting the ball, the Bulls have turned it over lately.
All right, Kukoc is coming in right now for Luke Longley. Pippen will move into the center position because it doesn't really matter. See, Kukoc is going to guard Tracy Murray. Rodman is on Howard. Pippen is on Chris Webber.
And Murray coming in for George Murasan. Here is Howard, and the ball knocked away. Last touched by the Bulls.
You can continue to get away with Pippen on Weber until he proves that he's going to play down inside. If Weber continues to play out on the perimeter, they'll stay with Pippen all night on him.
Murray on the catch and shot misses. Cheney gets the offensive rebound for the Bullets, one of the few they've been able to get. And there is Cheney going inside, and it's blocked, and Rodman blocks it. It's picked up, and it finally rolls in. Juwan Howard, now in double figures, gets credit. So the Bullets do a job off the offensive glass and regain the lead, 39-38.
It's nice to see that flurry, Dick.
And Michael Jordan with a quick move. And that's not scorer. Michael Jordan now with 12 points.
Shooter's bounce.
He had 29 in game 1, Hubie, and of course the 55 in game 2, matching his 3rd highest playoff output. And 6 of 10 so far in this game. Chicago leading by 1. Cheney is guarded by Jordan. And the Bullets want to make Jordan work defensively. Cheney with a tough shot, defended well by Michael Jordan. And Cheney with his second basket, and the Bullets take the lead by 1. Back and forth they go here with under 3.5 to go in the first half. Cheney forces Jordan to give the ball up.
Nice. Plenty of time. Stay in there's your guard around.
10 on the shot clock. Kerr gets free, and his ball away misses. And Howard and Rodman collide, and a loose ball foul against Dennis Rodman. That's a second foul against Rodman tonight. He's already had a technical as well.
Well, he thought that he had a chance to make a plea because he was sandwiched by the 2 Bullet players.
Chris Whitney playing more minutes than Bernie Bickerstaff would have liked, with Strickland in foul trouble on the bench with 3. Kukoc gambling for the steal. Weber gets it back to Whitney. 6 on the shot clock, and a bad pass will turn it over to Chicago.
Dick, Weber just had Kukoc on him down inside the paint. You must find him when he's posting up. Now, it's a nice move by Cheney. Takes it up strong and comes right back. Taking it strong. Here it comes. And then, finally, we send it down.
By 1 with 2:49 to go in the second quarter. Here's what's coming up later tonight. The Lakers trying to sweep the Trailblazers on TNT. Tomorrow, big doubleheader. Magic shocking the Heat last night. That'll be game number 4 of their series, with the Heat leading 2-1, and the Suns leading the Sonics, the defending Western Conference champions, in the second half of the doubleheader tomorrow on TNT. A lot of NBA playoff action on Turner Sports.
Dick, we look at the score. The Bullets are ahead 41-40.
in the Bulls 40 points. They have 8 offensive rebounds for 15 points.
Yes, it's 41-40, but those are the kind of numbers that really
keeps you in the game.
Keeps you in the game and maybe win the game at the end, because it's not about the shooting. It's about the hustle. And here's Jordan, puts a fake on Cheney. Kukoc started by Murray. Murray's done a good job on him, and Kukoc goes up and draws the foul. Juwan Kukoc a lot more mobile and more assured in this game than he was in the first 2.
Well, you have to look back at how many games that he missed. He missed 25 games with that ligament in the foot, so you knew that when he came into the playoffs, he was going to be rusty. You know, we're talking about game intensity, the fatigue factor, and then also for him, the touch. But tonight, he's made 2 beautiful passes off of drives, hit that 3 in the deep corner.
Jordan leads with 12. Rodman has 9. Kerr has 7. And Kukoc looking for his 7th point of the game. The Bulls bench doing a terrific job with some production.
Now, it's the first time we've seen the press. Now, they only go for 1 trap, then they come back out match up.
Bulls by 1. We've had a lot of seesaw action going on in this first half. Murray from the perimeter misses, and Scottie Pippen with the rebound. 42-41, the Bulls lead. 2:15 remaining in the half, and a no-look pass from Jordan to Dennis Rodman. So Jordan doing it other ways tonight, not just scoring, and Rodman with 11 big points in the first half. The Bulls leading by 3.
Michael is averaging 8 assists a game in this series. That was a great pass.
And he has 3 assists already in this one, and Jordan knocks it out of bounds on Howard's shot.
Now keep an eye on Michael once they hit him with this pass. He's in the middle of the floor. Now watch to the right of the screen as Rodman opens up. Webber leaves Rodman. The old story, never trap up and leave a man for a layup.
Whitney hitting his 2nd from downtown. Chris Whitney now with 6 points, and he has been a savior considering Rod Strickland on the bench with 3 personal fouls.
During the course of the year, he made 58, and he shot 36%.
Tied at 44 with 1.5 minutes to go, and an offensive foul is the call.
Yeah, Dick Pavetta, see, anytime that you catch a ball and a cutter is coming around you, you're not allowed to step even though you have the basketball. Now watch as Kirk comes around here. You're going to see Pippen. See, he did not allow the defensive player to step.
Scottie Pippen picking up his 2nd personal foul, and the Bullets looking to take the lead with under 1.5 minutes remaining here in the first half. Bullets led by 1 after 1 quarter, and they throw the ball away. So the Bullets again causing headaches for Bernie Bickerstaff with the turnover.
It's easy to say I'm a point guard in the NBA. A good point guard will get the ball to the guy coming off that screen when he's open. Because of the size and the quickness, you only got 100th of a second to deliver the ball.
Kukoc finding some room, and the rebound, Howard knocks it, and it's Whitney who comes down with it. 6-foot Chris Whitney winding up with the ball with 1 minute remaining. Howard going strong to the hoop, beating Webber, and it's blocked inside, and a foul is called. Rodman and Kukoc do not think it was a foul.
Now that was an excellent look, a delivery of the pass, and I think that Webber was going to do maybe an over-the-head dunk here. Now just watch this. Yeah, see, he was going for the dunk. Now that was questionable.
And they called it on Michael Jordan. And Webber makes the free throw. Webber has scored only 5 points thus far. And Murray going out of the game, and Harvey Grant coming in, and Michael Jordan with a few words for Ken Mauer.
We brought out a point early in this game, and that is that Webber is only averaging 3 foul shot attempts in this series. So this is amazing. He's got to get down in here and play big.
Well, Bernie Bickerstaff telling us that he plays better. His game is a perimeter game right now.
Without Murasan in there, Dick, he's got to get down inside and take advantage of his post play and his quickness.
Kukoc going up, and a foul. Tony Kukoc a lot more aggressive in this game. We have 42.3 seconds remaining in the half, and Harvey Grant with his first foul, and Tracy Murray will come in as Bernie Bickerstaff playing offense and defense substitution specialist.
The tendon in Kukoc's foot, he's been playing with it most of the season. So you knew that he had to play with a lot of pain. It's something that only rest will take over. This is your third leading scorer. In 28 minutes a game during the season, he gets you 13 points and 5 rebounds, shoots over 50% for you, and then is always a dangerous man off the dribble because he can deliver the pass.
He has been able to go to the line here in the first half, trying to make his 4th straight free throw at his 9th point of the game. Phil Jackson commenting after game 2 that Kukoc had a nightmare of a game against Tracy Murray, and Kukoc has come up big so far in this one. Tied at 46.
Well, he was second in the balloting for 6th man of the year to John Starks.
Whitney has it blocked by Kukoc out of bounds, and it was lost by Whitney. So the Bulls take over with 33 seconds remaining in the first half.
Well, Whitney might have sprained his ankle. You can see he's smarting right now. He's limping a little bit.
And now Steve Kerr came in. Randy Brown came in on the defensive end. Michael Jordan misses a long rebound to Kerr. Playing for what is in essence the last shot of this first half. Tied at 46. It has been a tight game. Bullets led by 12 early on, and then the Bulls came back.
Now you see they're going to flatten out here right now. It'll be interesting to see if they come with a high screen or let him go.
Here is Jordan. Unable to shoot, gets it into Scottie Pippen, and it bounces in after hitting the front rim. So the Bulls lead by 2 waning seconds of this first half. Whitney, with 1 second to go, fires it, and that'll do it. So the Chicago Bulls will take the halftime lead into intermission. Rod Strickland on the bench for most of the second quarter with 3 personal fouls, leading his team with 14 points. But Michael Jordan has 12, Rodman 11. And at the half, the Bulls lead the Bullets by a score of 48 to 46. The start of the third quarter with the Bulls leading the Bullets 48 to 46, and the Bullets shooting 60%, the Bulls 49%. But the big story, Hubie, has to be the offensive rebounding by Chicago and their second chance points, a big 12-point edge.
Well, Dick, anytime that you look at this and you say, well, what's wrong with the Bullets? The Bullets have 10 turnovers, 6 at the point guard position, and then you look at the other side and you see that Rodman has 11.6 rebounds, and then their bench has 18 points. Kukoc and Kerr naturally being the big guys. But if Washington's coming back, you're getting killed on the boards. Chris Webber has 2 rebounds, Juwan Howard 1. They've got to step up here.
And you said Webber has to come up, and so far that hasn't been the case. Right now, let's go over to Craig Sager.
Well, Dick Hubie, Bernie said exactly the same thing at halftime. He said they have 3 rebounds, 9 offensive rebounds for the Bulls. He said this is ridiculous. We're lucky we're in this ball game. If you guys keep playing this way in the second half, we won't be for long. He said you have to worry about getting the boards, cleaning up the glass, and stop containing your man. His other worry, keeping Rod Strickland in the game. He's very concerned about the fouls. Dick?
All right, Craig, thank you very much. They're the scoring leaders. Rodman, 5 of 6 from the field. Jordan, 6 of 11. 2 in double figures. Kukoc doing well. Whitney hit a couple of threes, but Strickland has 14, Howard 10. And as you mentioned, Rod Strickland playing with 3 personal fouls. Starts the second half along with Calvert Chaney, Juwan Howard, George Mirasan, and Chris Webber. Webber hits the jump shot. So Chris Webber, with his 3rd field goal of the game, has 8 points.
Scottie Pippen is so hot. He just stared down Jones, the referee, because he was nailed on that screen.
We've had 9 ties in this game. We're even at 48 here in the first 30 seconds of this third quarter. Longley open for the shot, hits. Luke Longley gives the Bulls the lead by 2. That's his first points of the game.
Well, in game 1, Luke Longley was open all night in that same position. They're catching Mirasan laying back.
Here is Rod Strickland, double teamed, and loses the ball momentarily. Plenty of time on the shot clock for the Bullets. Juwan Howard over Rodman. It doesn't drop. And here come the Bulls. Ron Harper with Jordan in the backcourt. Pippen, Rodman, and Longley up front. Pippen misses the shot. And Webber gets the rebound. Strickland looking to get into the paint. Howard passes back into Chaney, and the reverse layup. Good pass by Juwan Howard.
When that ball went into the post, Harper tried to take a look at it and was thinking to double team. Great movement without the ball by Chaney.
Score tied at 50. The Bulls winning the first 2 games at the United Center, but it wasn't easy for them trying to eliminate the pesky Bullets in 3 straight. And get ready for the second round. Pippen for 3, off the mark, and Chris Webber gets his second rebound here in the third quarter.
Now, Pippen's doing a good defensive job in this game. He only has 4 points, 2 for 7 from the floor.
Strickland misses from outside. So teams ice cold in the early going, tied at 50 with 2 minutes elapsed here in the third quarter.
In this series, Pippen has not shot well. He's only shooting 34%, but he's rebounding, getting assists, playing good defense.
Harper missing the 3 and the long rebound. Jordan hustling against Cheney, gets it back from Longley, and Longley spins it in for the basket. Luke Longley with 4 points here in the third quarter, and the Bulls regain the lead.
Once again, the Bulls drive baseline. They can count on Murasan double teaming. They're finding the center for layups.
And that's what the Bullets have not been able to do. They're relying on the outside shot. Rod Strickland misses from 3. Scottie Pippen clears, and a 3-on-2 break for Chicago. Very tough in the open court. Harper is fouled and will go to the line to shoot 2.
We're going to give you, as Cheney passes in, watch Ron Harper. See, he looks to double team, hesitated. They cleaned out the backside, Cheney up and in. Now keep an eye on this. Now watch Murasan. See, Murasan's going to help. That leaves Longley wide open. Anytime your man, if you're a pivot man, leaves you to double team, step to the dotted line, create a passing angle.
Albert Cheney with his 3rd personal foul. So Cheney and Strickland, the 2 Bullet guards, each with 3 fouls. And that was the first fast break point for the Bulls tonight. Harper trying to give the Bulls a 4-point lead. And he does. And Chicago up 54-50, putting pressure on the Bulls.
Well, with Washington shooting 60%, we know that they're not going to be a great amount of fast breaks here. The main thing right now for Washington is, can they get Webber going right now? He's got to be able to establish something down inside here, force the double teams and open people up.
Murasan can't handle the pass from Cheney, and the Bullets turn it over. So they doubled Webber down low, and Murasan was open, but the pass eluded him. So the Bulls trying to open up their largest lead of the game. They're up by 4. They have the ball now early in the third quarter. The winner of this series will take on the survivor of the Atlanta Hawks and the Detroit Pistons. Pistons lead 2-1 with Game 4 coming up Friday at the Palace of Auburn Hills. Pippen has a screen from Longley and loses his footing. And a push. And the foul is called against Chris Webber, his first.
Right now, Jordan and Pippen are talking strategy, and one of the main reasons is, in this series, Jordan is averaging 30 shot attempts. In the first half, he had 11, but they're not finding him.
That was a long fallback for a little push. Howard on Pippen. Howard's done a good job by and large defensively in the series. Longley gets the ball in good position, and a 3-second violation called against the Bulls. Longley could not have asked for the ball in a better spot.
Now, what time Chris Webber came right in and double teamed that time, and there was no room to step through.
Pippen and Jackson exchanging a few words over on the half court.
Well, they're not clean. They haven't been clean in the 3 games.
Pippen trying to anticipate the pass. Webber has it swatted away by Ron Harper, and the Bullets will have 9 seconds to attempt the shot. Howard will inbound. Crowd quieted somewhat. They were at a fever pitch early on when the Bullets moved out to a 12-point lead, but the Bulls came back. Rod Strickland short with it. Howard with the offensive score, and one of the rare second-chance points tonight for the Bullets, and they trail by 2. 12 points for Juwan Howard, and he is second to Strickland's 14 in the Washington scoring scheme. Pippen pulls up in the lane, and Scottie Pippen with his 6th point of the game, only his 3rd field goal, and during the regular season was effective with the 3-point shot against the Bullets. Cheney driving to the hoop, fouled by Ron Harper.
At the other end of the floor with Chicago, Strickland is playing Harper. Harper continues to run into the post in the triangle. And unfortunately for him, Chicago continues to go to the weak side of the floor.
That is the first team foul against the Bulls here in the third quarter. 7:40 remaining. Bullets trying to stay alive and send us to a fourth game and an offensive foul.
That was a good call.
It's called. George Mirasan hit Luke Longley in the face, and Longley checking to see whether he's bleeding.
Yeah, he caught him with a pretty good shot that time. But, you know, they're jostling for position. Two guys, one 7-7, another guy 7-1. Keep an eye on it right now. Boom. There it is. He caught him with the elbow. But these two guys, they've been banging one another around all night long. Either one of them hit you or I would be knocked out for the rest of the game.
Here's a steal by Juwan Howard, and they'll call him for the offensive foul as Scottie Pippen had position and Juwan Howard picking up his second.
See, when your game isn't going for you, Scottie Pippen, your game's not going, so you do all the little things. You get in here. Now, just watch. This is good position. He stakes it right up in there. Hey, that was excellent because you can see he was not back underneath the rim. He stood right up there and took it. You would like to have seen Howard to take another bounce. In this series, Pippen is averaging 10 rebounds a game, 2 blocks. So if you're not shooting well, do the little things.
Juwan Howard leaves the floor limping a bit and replaced by Harvey Grant. So Howard shaken up a bit. He has 12 points tonight. Bulls leading by 4 points. They have not been able to shake the Bullets so far. Pippen finding the screen and short with it. Loose ball, and they'll call this one against the Bulls as both Rodman and Jordan were underneath. Foul is on one of those two.
Well, you can see Rodman is frustrated because he caved in the man who was blocking him out at that time.
Third foul against Dennis Rodman, who had 11 points in the first half. And Juwan Howard apparently is all right. He's back in the lineup for Washington.
Each crew of referees calls the game differently. The game takes on a different personality. One night you might get away with a lot of physical contact, the next you don't, well, you have to adjust.
As long as it's consistent. Weber driving in, has it knocked away. Strickland, 2 seconds on the shot clock. Howard misses at the clock buzzer, and it's last touched by Rodman. And the Bullets will get a clock and the ball with 6:39 remaining in the third quarter. The Bulls by 4. Well, easily the most adorable thing in this place is this little girl.
Well, we have 18 Washington dancers out here on the floor, and this girl is the center of attention, throwing a kiss to the crowd and the cameraman, wearing her Easter bonnet.
That's right, with all the frills upon it. 56-52, the Bulls lead the Bullets. It has been a sluggish third quarter thus far with 6:32 to go, and the shooting has dropped considerably. The Bulls 43% and the Bullets at 33. The Bulls at 43%. And there are the numbers as you look at the shooting here in the third quarter.
Now you can see both teams are struggling. They're out of sync a little bit. Michael Jordan definitely not in the offense. You can see that with 6 minutes and 39 seconds to go, he only has 2 looks, 2 shot attempts in this quarter.
And he has not scored. He had 12 points to lead the Bulls at the half. The Bullets inbounding. Tracy Murray has come into the game for Washington. Jordan is guarding Strickland. Jordan's done a good job against Rod Strickland so far in this series. Murray guarded by Rodman. Pulls up with it, and Tracy Murray, who had a big game number 2, brings the Bullets to within a pair.
Now he can come in here now and infuse some life because of the range. You must play him, and he's a definite major 3-point attack man.
Scottie Pippen from the corner, and Pippen now with his second basket here in the third quarter, and once again the Bulls lead by 4, 58-54, halfway through this third quarter. Kukoc not letting Murray get a good look off the screen. Strickland penetrating, and a Chicago foul.
Kukoc did a very nice job coming with Murray on that screen down. It's to the left side of the floor. Going to give you a look. Watch the screen. You're going to see him push Kukoc inside, come off on the curl, but Kukoc came right with him now.
Strickland misses the free throw. Foul is on Michael Jordan, his second. The Bullets were not a good free throw shooting team during the regular season. Bulls winning game 1 despite shooting only 38%. 22 turnovers hurt the Bullets, and then the Michael Jordan show in game 2 when he scored 55 points. The Bulls lead by 3, 58-55.
They're just showing full court pressure, man-to-man. No traps. The middle is wide open for Pippen.
Pippen losing and then fouled. And Juwan Howard may have picked up his third. So the Bulls going to Scottie Pippen a lot more now here in the second half. And Howard has picked up 3. So Howard, Cheney, and Strickland all with 3 personal fouls. Kukoc will inbound. Each team with 3 fouls here in this third quarter. Pippen handling the ball out at the point.
Screen roll for Michael.
And Jordan picked up by Weber on the switch with a good feed to Kukoc. Kukoc appeared to have traveled, but he had juggled the ball, according to David Jones.
Yeah, he juggled. The referee right now, Kenny Maurer, is telling Bernie Bickerstaff he didn't have control.
Strickland fighting for control right now. Gets it out to Cheney. Cheney using a screen from Howard. Misses. The biggest lead for the Bulls right now is 5 points, and they've got the ball. 60-55, and Rodman with a basket and a foul. And Weber cannot stop Dennis Rodman, who has shown his offense in this game with a lot of tip-ins and layups, now with 13 points.
We told you the Bulls are outscoring them throughout this series on the break. Here it is right here. Rodman out-hustling Weber to the other end of the floor. You cannot fall asleep when you play Chicago because they'll keep the pressure on. They're always looking down the floor.
And a 20-second timeout called by Bernie Bickerstaff, so the Bulls making the best run either team has had since the Bullets got off to that 12-point lead, hot start at the top of the game.
You know, it's frightening when you think right now we have 5 minutes and 13 seconds to go, plus a fourth quarter. Dennis Rodman is going for 20. You don't think about that.
Not rebounds.
That's right.
About boards.
Yeah, by the way, in the rebounding, naturally he won the rebounding award for the 6th time, tying Moses Malone, who won it 6 times. Then the big fella, Wilt Chamberlain, won it 11 times, and Bill Russell 4 major rebounders in the history of this league.
A lot of honors going to the Bulls. You mentioned Scottie Pippen for the 4th-time All-Defensive Team. Michael Jordan for the 8th time joining him there. Jordan, of course, with a strong defensive effort in game number 1. 63-55. The lead is 8 for the Chicago Bulls. Weber in the low post with a fall-away a la Anthony Mason, and it finally drops for him. Chris Weber now with 10 points, but it's been a quiet 10 for Weber tonight.
Well, what's happening down below? Chicago switching on that crossing down underneath, and they're catching Kukoc on Weber.
Pippen's layup was blocked by Weber, and the glass touched by the Bullets, so the Bulls will inbound with plenty of time on the shot clock.
Watch Jordan coming to the corner.
Howard playing with 3 fouls. He's guarding Jordan, who settles for a 3, and it's off the glass. Jordan gets the loose ball.
Nice.
Pippen with a couple of fakes. Jordan will go for 3 again. Rare that Jordan would miss a couple of threes in one sequence. Pippen as well, and Weber the rebound. Bulls normally, with those good looks, would hit one of them.
Yeah, Chris Webber's limping here right now.
6-point lead for the Chicago Bulls with 4:20 to go. Juwan Howard can't convert, and the rebound by Tony Kukoc. Winding down to 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Bulls looking to close out the Bullets in 3 straight here in this first round playoff. Jordan finding an open out. Forget about it. Michael Jordan going down the lane, and you know there's a horse that's going to be in the Kentucky Derby, a big sports week known as Crypto Star, and he runs with his tongue out just the way Michael Jordan.
Now, this is just beautiful. Michael, they cut him off going over the top, down the middle, no rotation, send it down. Here, Calvin Cheney's going to set a screen. Here comes Murray off the screen. Keep an eye on Weber. He's going to be open right here as Kukoc switches on him. Now, that's there all night long. You got to take him strong down inside. You can count on the switch. There it is again. They just switch. Murray's wide open.
Tracy Murray, with his first from downtown, brings the Bullets to within 5 points with 3:38 to go. So Murray, red hot off the bench, as you pointed out, the only real player off the bench giving the Bullets production. He is 4 of 6 from the field.
They're double teaming Michael and they can give up the ball.
Kukoc for 3 hits from the other corner. So Tony Kukoc definitely getting back in his shooting rhythm tonight. Has 14 points, 2 from downtown.
Amen. It's about time, and you know he has the field.
Winding down to 3 minutes remaining in the third. Murray working on Kukoc, who had problems with Murray on Sunday, and does again as he falls back. Tracy Murray with 7 points here in the third quarter, and the lead is 6 for Chicago.
Well, you know that Murray can fill it up now. He had a great year last year in Toronto. You're talking about a guy who has outstanding range from 15 to 25 feet.
He had been with Houston when they won the title in 94-95. And a foul is called against Murray. That'll be his third. Here is Craig Sager now, Craig.
The trainer took his ankle and retaped it and also loosened up the shoe and made it tighter. But he said he can go. He'll go as fast as he can. But he definitely has a sprained left ankle.
All right, Craig, thank you very much. Sprained left ankle for Chris Webber, so a couple of players hobbling here. George Mirasan, who was questionable with that strained hip flexor, started tonight. He's on the bench right now. Scottie Pippen coming alive offensively here in the second half, has 10 points, 6 here in the third quarter, and it's an 8-point Chicago lead.
Well, Scottie has been dominating the ball and has been every area of the triangle, and they're emphasizing, him getting involved and making it happen.
Murray getting it into Webber nicely, and Webber passing it out, and he is pushed. That is the 4th team foul against the Bulls. The Bullets already over the limit.
The Bulls are not what you would think of as a dominating defensive team that forces turnovers out at half court. But they are terrific from the top of the circle down. When you beat them, their rotations are crisp and everybody's challenging.
Juwan Howard under the basket goes up, blocked out of bounds, and it'll still be Washington's ball. Randy Brown is going to come into the game for defensive purposes with 2:20 to go. And Michael Jordan will sit out the 2:20 and the time between the third and fourth quarters. Jordan has 14 points, only 2 here in the third quarter, and not many shots.
Well, the guy with the ball right now, Strickland, very quiet. He also had 14 at the half.
A fake double team on the Strickland, and a turnover, and Tracy Murray gets the ball back from Randy Brown. So turnovers at either end. Bulls lead by 8. Murray did not get a good pass, but he hits from downtown. Tracy Murray now with his second three-point shot has 14 points off the bench for Washington.
Yeah, when you're hot and you have the feel and you are a shooter, you know that your stopping distance is not a factor.
Played with the Rockets in their 94-95 title year. You mentioned the Toronto last year. Pippen goes up, travels, and on the turnover, the Bullets down by 5 get the ball back.
When Tracy Murray was in high school in California, he led the state in scoring, 44 points a game. When he was at UCLA at the end of 3 years, he turned to the professionals. He's the 5th leading scorer in the history at UCLA. This guy can shoot.
And he has scored the last 8 points for the Bullets, who with less than a minute and a half remaining in the third, down by 5. Kukoc trying to stay with him.
Nice.
Leaning in. Oh, yes! Spectacular play by Tracy Murray. And he'll go to the line. It is a 2-point basket, and Murray can bring the Bullets to within a pair.
That was beautiful. Tony Kukoc at 6'11", trailed that play and was right on top of him. But watch this head fake. Caught him going up in the air. Finishes. Ah, that was beautiful.
Tracy Murray on the line with 1:24 to go has scored the last 11 points for the Washington Bullets, who were down by 8 and trailed by 2, 70-68. Jordan on the bench, taking his familiar rest toward the end of the third session.
Right now, Pippen and Kukoc are the main people for you.
And Howard guarding Pippen. Weber comes over, misses a 3. Pippen misses a 3. He thought he was fouled. And now the Bullets in position to at least tie the game. Rod Strickland gets it into Cheney. He's got a good height advantage on Randy Brown. Cheney goes up
One.
And a foul before the shot.
Yep.
But it is the 15th foul against the Bulls, and so Chaney will go to the line and shoot 2 anyway.
You can see Chaney kind of lost his strength here. Just watch as he backs in. See, right there. Now, it could have gone either way. Could have been offensive foul. You know, it depends upon the angle that you're looking at that.
Chaney can tie the score with a couple of free throws here. And let's take a look at tonight's Chevy scoreboard following the Lakers and Trailblazers catch inside the NBA with Vince Cellini and Derek Harper.
Now, Chaney's one of 3 guards who shot over 50% this year. John Stockton at 54, Douglas at Milwaukee at 50, Chaney at 51. And it's interesting, he's only a 68% foul shooter.
Tied at 70. Here is Rodman at the high post, guarded by Weber, with 43 plus and 11 on the shot clock for the Bulls. Randy Brown working against Whitney is in the game. This is the shot. Rodman keeps it alive. And now, with 20 seconds, a differential on the clock of about 9.
They're opening the floor. Gonna let Pippen take him off the dribble.
And Pippen pulls up for the shot. Long rebound. And Murray tips it over to Whitney. And now the Bullets playing for the last shot. They are on an 8-0 run in the last minute and a half. And a standing ovation. Whitney into Weber. And a sloppy pass. And now the Bulls have a chance. Brown can't control it with 0.4 of a second remaining.
Now, you can make a catch and shot as long as you catch and shoot while you're in the air. Now, just watch this now. There's a .4 on the clock. Let's see if they go with the long pass. Yeah, Weber is down at the other end of the floor.
Bullets led by 1 after 1 quarter. The Bulls led by 2 at the half. And Tracy Murray scoring 13 points this quarter, the last 11. And the Bulls and Bullets are all tied at 70 on this spectacular play.
I notice Kukoc right on him. Good head ball fake. Step in, catch him in his movement.
And the Washington Bullets showing life here after 3 on their home court, tied with the world champions at 70. With the game tied at 70, and as Hubie pointed out, the Bullets have not gotten much production from their bench other than Tracy Murray, who has 17 points already in this game and has been a spectacular performer. Chris Whitney has 2 threes, but basically it's been Tracy Murray.
And he's done it with a flair. When you look at the point guard position for Washington, uncharacteristically, they have 8 turnovers tonight. 4 by Strickland and 4 by Whitney. So it's really hurting them.
Michael Jordan with 14 points, 7 of 14 from the field, and didn't get much of an opportunity in the third. He should be well rested after coming out with 2:20 to go in the third and then the break. So we'll see what Mr. Jordan has in mind as we go into the fourth. So Murray with 17, Strickland has 15, Howard and Weber have the 12 and 10 respectively for the Bullets. Steve Kerr in the lineup brings it up. He's got Jordan with him and Pippen, Kukoc, and Rodman up front.
This will be a high screen and roll with Rodman and Jordan.
Jordan hits the first shot against Jaren Jackson, who's come in to defend him. So Jordan now with 16 points. Bullets went on that 8-0 run, Hubie. All came after Jordan went to the bench.
Yeah.
Murray off the screen. Misses this one.
Michael right now is 8 for 15 in this ballgame.
Tony Kukoc going to the hoop and fouled. Kukoc has been effective going to the basket in this third game.
Now just keep an eye on Michael. See, now watch. See, Rodman moves the man out. The defender anticipates Michael going to the middle. Instead, he pulls up. Now, Kukoc has been terrific. The 14 points. He's 4 for 4 on the line. 4 for 5 from the floor. 2 for 2 in threes.
Chris Weber picking up his third personal foul. So Weber and Howard have 3, as well as Strickland and Chaney. Tony Kukoc, one of 3 in double figures for the Bulls in the regular season, with Pippen and Jordan, of course, being the other 2. And the Bulls lead by 4. Rod Strickland with Jaren Jackson, Howard, Murray, and Weber up front, and a foul called against Kukoc, make it Kerr. That's Steve Kerr's first.
Or you know that Strickland can take Kerr anytime off the dribble. But if you notice, Rodman was right there. There was no way that Strickland could elevate and get a shot.
Strickland goes low into Weber. He's got Rodman hit, goes out and right back on him. Weber with a turnaround. Chris Weber now with 12 points in the game. He had 6 at the half. He has shot 5 of 7 tonight, so he has been shooting well. And the Bulls with the ball lead by 2. Kukoc for 3, short, and saved by Jaren Jackson, but to Kukoc. Here's Jordan.
Somebody's open here.
Jordan, always open, finds an open space. Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
He's starting to go now. That's his second field goal of the fourth quarter. 18 in the game.
See, once again, second chance points. 21-9 in second chance points.
Strickland with a spin in the lane, and that was a patented play for the Bullets down the stretch. Strickland gets the ball back on the Bulls turnover.
I'm surprised Rodman made that pass.
Jackson going to the hoop. Kerr staying with Rod Strickland again, and Strickland has hit 2 in a row, penetrating into the lane, and that is Rod Strickland's game.
Well, it's there from any time, from the top or the wing. No way Kerr can stay with him,
19.
and then that forces the defense to come and rotate.
19 for Rod Strickland. Michael Jordan with a miss, and Weber with a rebound. Weber now with 6 off the glass, and the Bullets looking to take the lead, tied at 76. And Murray, the basket and the foul. Tracy Murray has become the man of the hour for the Washington Bullets here in the second half.
He's 8 for 10 from the floor. But this is something he rarely does, and that is takes it strong all the way. This is a great finish. Power, 2 hands.
The guy with the crossover that dazzled Michael Jordan earlier this year. Allen Iverson, the top pick out of Georgetown, 23.5 points per game, was number 6 in the league, 11th in assists, 7th in steals. For some reason, I don't think it's going to be for Mark Bradkey, Dick and Hubie.
Ernie, you're very astute. And Hubie and I both agree with you that it looks as if Allen Iverson is going to get that Rookie of the Year award coming out of Philadelphia tomorrow. Way to go, buddy. Well,
here's the man of the hour right here.
6 of 7 shooting in the second half. The Bullets have their first lead of the half, and their first lead since late in the second quarter when they were up 46-44. And Murray will go to the line to stretch it to 9 if he can, with 9:40 remaining here in the fourth.
As we go down the wire here, only one player in this ball game with 4 fouls, and it's a key guy, Scottie Pippen.
And a whole slew of players have 3. Murray with the free throw, and the Bullets in front, 79-76. Bulls want to close it out tonight. They want as much rest as possible going into the next round against the winner of the Hawks-Pistons series. This is a veteran team. And there's Jordan shooting over Cheney, misses. Jason Pappy into the game, gets the offensive rebound, and Jordan fires it out to Kerr. An offensive rebound giving the Bulls another opportunity. They've got plenty of time on the shot.
Oh, yeah, they'll back it out, set it up. Now they're flattening out right now, bringing Pippen off of a back screen.
Murray is on Jordan right now, and then Strickland picks him up, and Jordan double-teamed as Kerr with 1 second. They don't get it off in time, and the Bullets trapping well against Michael Jordan out near midcourt did a terrific defensive job.
They did not get into their regular triangle set. They went with a couple of back screens on the baseline. The distance was too long of a pass for Jordan because the people were covered.
3 minutes have gone by here in the fourth. The Bullets with the ball, leading by 2, and the pass from Weber trying to get it to Strickland, deflected, and the Bulls with it back.
You always make that statement. Don't pass it to a post guy unless he calls for it.
Scottie Pippen with a 3. Pippen playing with 4 fouls, as you mentioned, now with 13 points, hitting his first from downtown, ties the game. Here's Strickland, who has had 3 fouls in the early going. And Strickland again penetrating. Doesn't drop, but there is Weber.
Yes, there you are.
And the Bullets doing a better job getting second chance points in this half.
Now, since the last timeout, Scottie Pippen is on Tracy Murray right now.
14 points for Chris Weber. Strickland has 20, Murray with 19. Kerr trying to get a good look. Caffey defended by Murray now with 8 on the shot clock. Jason Caffey goes up, and it was Weber who got a good job getting a piece of the ball. Strickland beating Howard, and Juwan Howard lays it in, and the Bullets lead, and a foul as well. 83-79.
Anytime that Strickland is attacking on the break and taking it strong to the rim, you must play him because he can score. He can finish. But at this time, at the last split second, just watch this beautiful pass. And he found him perfectly.
Dennis Rodman with his 4th personal foul, and Juwan Howard going to the free throw line to try to give the Bullets a 5-point lead. That was the first fast break for the Bullets since the first quarter. Howard's free throw is good. It's 84-79. Little more than 4 minutes gone by here in the fourth. Tex Lennon and Phil Jackson talking it over on the Bullets bench.
We have not seen Michael Jordan in the post on the triangle tonight. Now there's first time down in there on the post.
And a foul before the shot. Michael Jordan tonight with 18 points. Really not had a series of explosions.
So I want to bring out that point. The point is that anytime that he runs into the post on a triangle and you hit him, you must double team him or he'll jump over the top of Cheney. So that would break the defense down. It's kind of interesting that they have not gone to it.
4 on Cheney. 12-3 Bullets run. And Scottie Pippen, who has come alive, he had 4 points at the half, and he has 11 so far here in the second half, as the Bullets lead by 3, 84-81. Kerr guarding Strickland. And Rodman trying to help over. Kerr denying Rod Strickland. 7 on the shot clock. Strickland with a turnaround from the baseline. And a loose ball. Caffey had the rebound and lost it. And now the Bullets.
Nice pass.
Strickland finds Weber, who scores. And it looked like the Bulls fell asleep for a moment.
Well, what happened is they relaxed. Dennis Rodman playing Weber definitely relaxed. Beautiful look and delivery of the pass by Strickland.
Weber, you said had to come alive in this game, has 6 points here in the fourth quarter. 16 in the game. A 5-point Washington lead. Jordan backing in against Rod Strickland.
Well, they have to trap him.
Murray showing the double. And Caffey travels.
Caffey's upset, and he has the right to be. That was a miniature mugging down there right now. To force him into that travel. Now this one just goes off of Caffey, and as this ball comes out, now watch as Strickland takes a look right there. See, they catch Rodman with his hands down at his side, relaxing.
Now here's tonight's Dutch boy in the paint. The Bulls have had the big edge on second chance points, but the Bullets coming back somewhat. And there you're looking at the starting forwards. And Howard and Weber, 31-29 over Pippen and Rodman. Rodman has 14 tonight.
Main thing right now is Scottie Pippen is struggling with his shot. Fortunately, the coaching staff at Chicago went to him a number of times in the second half. But in so doing, you're going away from Jordan. I would expect them to post Jordan in this last 6 minutes here and get him down inside where he can cause damage, force the double team. Other people will get easier looks at the basket.
Jordan wanted to get the rest of his team off a bit and get some of the others in the flow after the 55-point effort, and he has scored 18 points, and others have gotten into it, but it may be Jordan time very, very soon. 5-point lead for the Bullets. They have the ball. Strickland driving around, lays it in. Rod Strickland now with 22.
See, anytime that Howard and Weber are at the top of their game, it makes it easier for the other people because you cannot leave their people, and then Strickland can get to the rim.
Scottie Pippen tries to get it back to Rodman. Tapped away into Howard. Win or lose for the Bullets in this game, even if the Bulls sweep them, the Washington Bullets have given the Chicago Bulls all they can handle in this series, even if they get swept.
High screen and roll.
Strickland In the lane, goes out to Howard. Rodman does a good job on him. Calvert Cheney misses a three from the corner, and Rodman the rebound. 5:40 remaining. 9 rebounds for Dennis Rodman tonight. He had 8 in game 2.
Screen and roll.
And you know that Jordan's going to start taking
that was a foul. That was a foul on Longley. Cheney switched on Longley, and Longley, for some reason, he has a mismatch, grabs him by the arm and throws him. Keep an eye on this. Now watch to the bottom of your screen here. Now watch what happens. See, he pulls him right there. Well, of course, that's going to be called.
And that is the 4th foul on Longley. So Pippen, Rodman, and Longley, the starting front court for the Bulls, all with 4 fouls. Strickland controlling now. 11 on the shot clock. And Howard with an alley-oop to Weber. And the Washington Bullets have opened up a 9-point lead with a little over 5 minutes remaining in the 4th.
That's nice to see Weber playing his game, because it's sure the offense all of a sudden looks crisp and guys are open.
This is the biggest lead for the Bullets since the first quarter when they were up by 12. Longley goes strong with the hoop and is fouled.
Now just keep an eye on this. Anytime you're guarding a guy down inside, you cannot lose contact. And you can see that right there. If Longley is playing Weber, you know they love the alley-oop. You must keep your forearm on his chest, and you cannot lose contact. Longley got caught on the top side looking at the basketball.
Weber committing his 4th personal foul as Longley misses the first free throw. That is his first attempt of the game from the line. And Randy Brown will come into the game replacing Tony Kukoc. Longley has 1 more free throw attempt. Unusual for the Bulls, who have turned it over 4 times in this 4th quarter. And Longley makes 1, so it's an 8-point lead for the Bullets, 90-82. And a lane violation called against the Bulls, and so erase the free throw. It is still 90-80.
Now watch Rodman to the left there. You see Rodman is already in there before the ball even left Longley's hand. Good call.
And Phil Jackson is exasperated on the Bulls bench. Under 5 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. The Bullets trying to win, and an offensive foul.
Good call.
Called. And Chris Webber has picked up number 5. So Webber, who has 18 points, now with 5 personal.
Well, Dick Bavetta is giving Webber the reason why. He set the screen and then moved as he opened up. The same call was made earlier by Scottie Pippen. Now just keep an eye on this. Now watch the screen. See, and then boom, as he turned, he catches him. Now you say, well, that was a games 1 and 2. That wasn't a foul, but it's been a foul every time tonight.
4:39 to go. The Bullets lead the Bulls 90-81. Kukoc back in the game. Brown is out. Steve Kerr working against Strickland. And Kukoc firing a three, and it's blocked by Weber. Weber does a great job. Kukoc claiming he was hit on the arm. And now the Bullets
hit something good.
Tracy Murray, who's been a big hero tonight for them in the game. Howard controlling with 10 on the shot clock. And Howard fires it up short. And Jordan gets the rebound. Everything just stopped for the Bullets, and Howard fired it away. Here's Jordan. Fall away, and Jordan has it.
Well, you know what?
Michael now.
That was a carry. The Bullet bench is going nuts. All right, Bernie Bickerstaff, all the players, they're yelling at Kenny Maurer on the baseline there. They wanted a carry on that.
20 points for Michael Jordan. 90-83. Washington leading under 4 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. Weber working against Rodman. And illegal defense.
Good call
against the Bulls.
That time Kerr went to double team. He went halfway and came back. You cannot do that. Once you commit on a double team, you must go all the way.
Lakers Trailblazers, game 3 coming up next from Portland here on TNT, but we've got a thriller here. That was, of course, the first illegal defensive call against the Bulls. Technical the next time. Strickland with a shot, fighting for his rebound. No basket as Weber goes up. And a foul against the Bulls. That'll be their 4th team foul.
Well, you must pay attention to Rod Strickland. See, he knows he can shoot over the top of Kerr, but Kerr didn't block him out. You say, why do we say that? He's averaging 8 rebounds a game in this series. tying Weber for high with Washington. During the year, he gets you close to 5.
That was the 5th foul on Dennis Rodman. Weber double teamed and called for the offensive foul, and Weber has fouled out of the game.
He definitely did not stop. He went down in there for a spin move, turned right into the chest, and Rodman is going to take the contact and then give you a flop along with it.
Chris Weber fouls out of the game with 3:22 remaining and still arguing with David Jones.
Now keep an eye on it now as it reverse spins and comes back in. You can see Rodman. That was hardly a bump, but it looks good. It depends upon the angle that the referee has on the call. Now Weber better watch out. He might get a T here now.
18 points and 8 rebounds as Weber fouls out, but he played well in the 4th. Back here in Landover, Chris Weber has fouled out and got an explanation from David Jones as he charged for that 6th personal foul. Wound up with 18 points, 8 rebounds, but had 8 of those points in the 4th quarter.
Now they needed it. He stepped up. He did an excellent job down inside, and all of it happened inside the paint, Dick, and that's what had to happen.
And here's the timeout story. The Bullets have 1 foul to give and only 2 timeouts remaining. Chicago has 3 full and a 20.
Now in this 4th quarter, the 4th quarter has been the Bulls' time to shine in games 1 and 2. In this quarter so far, it is 20-13 Bullets.
Pippen will inbound. He's got Steve Kerr, Michael Jordan, Tony Kukoc, and Luke Longley in the game.
Now this is a slice and now screen and roll for Michael.
Chaney trying to stay with Jordan, and Michael Jordan hits. Michael Jordan now with 8 points here in the 4th quarter, has 22 in the game, and it's a 5-point game.
Oh, bad foul by Steve Kerr. He's in the backcourt. He bumps Rod Strickland. Strickland, you can see, is limping a little bit right now. He's smarting on that ankle. And what the problem is you're already shooting the penalty. Bad foul in the backcourt.
Now Rod Strickland, who has been shaky from the stripes, 4 for 5 tonight, but had struggled earlier. And this is the first free throw. 90-85. Bernie Bickerstaff, who was the last coach to bring a team back from an 0-2 deficit in a best-of-5 series with the Denver Nuggets against Seattle in '94. Strickland converts 1, and the Bullets lead 91-85.
Let's see if they go back to that same set. Going away.
Jordan
into the
posting up against Chaney.
That's right.
And Longley playing up high. Kukoc now to Jordan, who had a look. Jordan now controlling with 5 on the clock. In the lane, Michael Jordan now with 10 points here in the 4th quarter brings the Bulls to within 4. And it looks like Michael Jordan wants to take it over again here in the 4th.
Well, that was a very nice screen by Longley on Jordan's man. Right now, we have Grant and Longley in a sumo wrestling mode right here, right? They're just blasting one another.
And that's what you expect in the playoffs. George Murasan is going to check back in for the Bullets.
Now keep an eye to the left of the screen there. You see Grant with the forearm. Longley pushes. Now he just throws him right out of there. Grant comes back at him. The referees finally break it up.
And a double foul call on both Grant and Longley for their wrestling abilities. There's Kukoc defending against Juwan Howard, working his way in with the short hook shot, misses, and Kukoc gets it. So Howard had a good percentage shot, couldn't convert, and the Bulls with the ball down by 4. Michael Jordan has scored the last 6 points for the Bulls in a crowd with 12 on the shot clock.
Plenty of time.
And here is Kukoc. Pippen, guarded by Howard, pulls up for 3 and hits a big one. A big 3-point basket for Scottie Pippen, who during the regular year was 13 of 23 against the Bullets, and a timeout called with 2 minutes remaining, and the Bullets lead down to 1.
This is a guy during the course of the season who has attempts 5 threes a game. And when you think about it, struggled in the first half. They had to struggle to get it off, and boom, right in your face.
Close out the Bullets, frustrated here, trying to do what he can do, talking to his teammates, trying to urge them to get free. Here's Rod Strickland controlling with 1:50 to go. And Strickland, he has been able to penetrate in the second half brilliantly.
He didn't jump over Steve Kerr. He just jumped over Michael Jordan.
24 points and 9 assists for Rod Strickland tonight. Ron Harper back in the game. Jordan looking for an opening and hits. Michael Jordan, phenomenal, has 26 points, 12 here in the fourth quarter.
On the left side of the floor, Michael comes off that screen and roll. Then they set a back screen at the top of the circle and send Harper for a three.
Here is Strickland open again. Short. And Howard tries to save it, but Rodman Jordan controls. And the Bulls looking to take the lead, down by 1:15 to go, and Jordan hits. Michael Jordan, phenomenal. With 28 points, he has taken over again for the Chicago Bulls. He is not to be denied, and the way he plays, he will not let the Bulls lose.
Well, just keep an eye. Now, Michael knows that he can shoot up over the top of Strickland, but he's answering the bell now. He has the feel. He's breaking the pattern of the offense, and he's scoring.
Bulls lead 94-93, and with that timeout, the Washington Bullets are all out of timeouts. They have one foul to give. Chicago still with a bundle of timeouts, and Michael Jordan, who scored 20 of his team's 23 points in the fourth quarter, in game number 2, has 14 of his team's 24 here in the fourth quarter now.
Now, Murason's in there to keep the ball alive on the offensive glass. Remember, he's having difficulty shooting that hook shot, but he's rolling down inside.
Howard now to Cheney with 11 on the shot clock, and Juwan Howard throws it away into the hands of Ron Harper. Good anticipation by Harper, under a minute to go, and the Bulls leading by 1 and the ball.
See, now watch this high screen right here now. Taking Michael to the middle of the floor.
Cheney guarding with Michael Jordan. He goes out to Harper, open for 3, and he can't convert. And a loose ball into the hands of Cheney with 34 plus remaining. And time running down for the Bullets.
Remember, they have no timeouts.
And the Bulls lead by 1. Critical offensive sequence. Strickland misses, but Howard gets it and is fouled by Harper. And Juwan Howard will go to the line and shoot 2. And a chance to give the Bullets the lead with 22.1 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. Howard has been on the line once tonight and has converted. He has 15 points in the game, but these are 2 crucial free throws.
Now, Strickland was, he's kind of smiling, but he knows that he had a great open look. He left that one short, but excellent hustle by Howard to get that rebound.
Score is tied at 94.
Well, in this series, Howard is attempting 7 free throws a game, shooting 87%. During the year, solid, right at 77%.
And Harvey Grant has replaced Murasan in the Bullets lineup
for quickness and defense. Remember, the Bulls have 3 timeouts and a 20.
And also remember that the Bullets have a foul to give. They have a foul to give, and the Bulls call a timeout. 22.1 remaining. 1 point, Washington lead. By 1, the Bulls have the ball, and the Bullets have a foul to give. What is the strategy here, Hubie?
The main thing is you want to deny and pressure the inbounds pass. You know that if they get the ball inbounds and they dribble and they set something up, you can take a foul, 4 seconds off the clock, force them to take the ball out of bounds on the side again. And the other factor here is Chicago is taking the ball a length of the floor. They want to bring it up. Now remember, precious seconds are going to go off the clock here right now, and you still have that foul to give. Whatever you do not foul the shooter.
Jordan and Pippen have 22 of the 24 points the Bulls have in the quarter. Jordan lost it. Murray. Pippen is driving in, and the basket counts for the foul. Scottie Pippen alertly went baseline. He is on the floor right now, maybe shaken up, but a huge basket for Pippen, giving the Bulls the lead, and will go to the line to shoot with 7.4 seconds remaining.
Now that was a prime time clutch play by Scottie Pippen, but he is hurting right now. But he took that rebound out of the miss, the lost ball by Michael, and drove that ball hard and sent it down strong.
Scottie Pippen, who has scored 10 of his 20 points here in the fourth quarter, will go to the line if he can. He has really been shaken up, but an alert play by Pippen with 7.4 seconds remaining. And the Bulls lead by 1. Pippen gets up, and he's going to walk back to his huddle.
Now, Michael loses the ball right here. Now, watch him go baseline. Watch Scottie go baseline strong right there. 2 hands strong. Unfortunately for him, he gets caught on the rim, and he drops down right to the floor, catching his hip. Now, just watch it right here. See, as he falls, bam, that is a hard fall.
And Calbert Chaney committing his 5th foul. Chaney on the foul, hitting the floor hard directly with his back. And remember, the Bullets have no timeouts remaining.
That's correct. This is very important because when they shoot this foul shot, if they make it, the Bulls are up 2. Bullets have got to take it the length of the floor, 7.4 seconds. But that's why we said, Dick, you had a foul to give. They took it at the other end, played into your hand. Dribbled the basketball all the way up to the top of the circle. When Michael was dribbling, even a foul then would have taken precious seconds. They would have had to take the ball out on the side, bring it back in, and set up an entirely new play.
That's where you can disrupt an offense by making that foul.
And the other option is, hey, we'll play our defense. They got the miss except for one thing. They didn't get the loose ball.
Pippen misses the free throw.
Come on, you've got to go.
It's a 1-point game. No timeouts left. Here's Rod Strickland working against Randy Brown. And here's Calbert Chaney.
No.
Shot at the buzzer. And the Bulls have won and have eliminated the Washington Bullets in dramatic fashion. Michael Jordan scoring 14 in the 4th quarter. And a tremendous game as the Chicago Bulls have swept the Washington Bullets in 3 straight, winning tonight by a score of 96-95. Right now, let's go over to Craig Sager.
Well, Scottie, all night long, Hubie Brown talked about Scottie Pippen doing everything. His shot may not be there, the defense, but what about the back-breaking shot at the end?
Well, it was a tough shot. Michael lost the ball right there, and, at that stage of the game, you have to take the ball to the hole hard, and that's what I tried to do. I got a hard foul and I paid for it, but, it was a win for us.
We probably won't know till tomorrow how bad the back is, but how much does it hurt now?
Well, it's hurting pretty bad. I'm kind of spasming on my left side, but I feel fine. I'm trusting the fact that Chip and the Docs are going to take care of me. I'll be back.
How were you able to get in position to get that ball when Michael lost it?
Well, I was trying to just face the court, and let Michael go one-on-one against Chaney, and, somehow he went up and lost the ball, and my defender, Howard, never saw the ball, so I just grabbed it and took it to the basket hard.
What about the Bullets? They came right at you. You were down by 8 in the 4th quarter. What turned it around?
They're a tough team. They have a lot of talent, young players, play real hard, take the ball to the basket hard. They gave us our money's worth in this series. It's a good preparation game for us going to the next round.
You told me before the game the team wasn't in sync, but it looked like Luke got back in the game. He was moving very well. Your shots started to come around in the second half.
Well, right now we're not playing as well as we need to. This team gave us a run for our money, and, hopefully we can take advantage of this opportunity of, closing this series out in practice and start to find some rhythm into our game.
Congratulations on an outstanding game of both of them. Let's go now back to Dick and Hubie.
All right, Craig, thank you very much. And tonight's Bud player of the game is Michael Jordan. Nothing like the 55, but he had 28, including 14 in the last quarter. This was a hard 3 games for the Chicago Bulls, but they won in 3 and will have their rest before round 2 against either the Hawks or the Pistons. So the final score here at US Airways Arena, the Chicago Bulls 96 and the Washington Bullets 95. And so for Hubie Brown, Craig Sager, Dick Stockton saying so long. And right now, let's send it back to Atlanta and Ernie Johnson.
All right, thank you very much, Dick. So the Washington Bullets up by 9 in that 4th quarter.